ReZero was released on April 4th, 2016, and was originally a light novel adapted into a TV anime. Over its 5-month and 18-day runtime, its 25th and final episode would air on September 19th, 2016, marking it as the second most popular isekai anime of all time. With each episode being approximately 26 minutes, it will take you about 10 hours and 50 minutes to finish the anime. If we were to include the prequel and 4 sequels, it will take you 31 hours to watch the entire series. While there's been a lot of talk about the story itself, today I'll be taking a new and more analytical approach, investigating what trends were popular in the industry when ReZero was made, how does it compare to modern trends, the careers of the voice actors, character popularity, and how did the anime community react, and so much more. But before we can jump into those topics, for the unaware, what is ReZero about? ReZero isn't your typical black-haired Japanese twink who has a glow-up in another world. Instead, it's an emotional roller coaster, with intense themes of self-worth, loving yourself, and some of the most brutal, unaliving instances depicted in anime. The story follows Natsuki Subaru, a shut-in who's leaving the convenience store late at night when suddenly he's transported to a bustling city in a fantasy world of Laguncia. Now Subaru doesn't get any cheat abilities, he's not been sent here for some divine mission, or gets an overpowered weapon, or even a reason why he was sent here. Instead, he gets his ass beat in an alleyway for being too cocky. And that's where he meets Amelia, a beautiful silver-haired half-elf who saves him from generic thugs A, B, and C. Now Amelia is searching for her stolen insignia, and Subaru, feeling indebted to her, decides to help. In this world, beast folk are discriminated against, and half-beast folk even more. Witch cults spread terror, and this world's politics complex. And all of these would be things Subaru would never get to experience, because in his quest to help Amelia find her lost insignia, they end up in a seedy part of town, where, from some unknown assailant, get cut down. Subaru, realizing far too late what has transpired, as his consciousness begins to fade as a pool of blood grows around him, realizes he is dying. And when his vision goes black and he takes his last breath, that is when he and the viewers realize that his cheat skill is something far more powerful and far more terrifying than any magical sword or some overpowered spell. Instead, he finds himself back where he was first summoned in this world. He has the ability to return from death. What separates ReZero from every other isekai story you have seen is the consequences are real, even when they're undone. Every death Subaru experiences is agonizing. Every person he watches dies stays with him. Every failure burns into his memory. And what's worse is his return from death power is cursed, where he physically cannot mention this ability to anyone, making it impossible for his friends to console him for the trauma he's experienced, or even a single person to relate to what he has gone through. So when your only leg up and chance to learn vital information crucial to saving the ones you love means paying the ultimate sacrifice again and again, often in the most horrific of situations, this anime makes for an intense psychological roller coaster, having you at the edge of your seat. Each character is complex, three-dimensional, and flawed. And through the eyes of Subaru, we see it all, the full gamut of triumph and demise, over and over again. The series tackles themes of mental health, self-worth, obsession, and sometimes grappling with the fact that the right choice may be the one that breaks your heart. Now this is one of the top 10 best animes I've seen and would recommend it to anyone. But moving away from the story itself, let's talk about more of the analytical one, starting with the context when ReZero was released. If we were to take all anime made each year and separate them into two categories, short anime, anime that are 13 episodes or less, and long anime, anime that are 14 episodes or more, onto a graph, we see ReZero was made when anime started being made shorter in 2013. Considering the average series duration for a long anime in 2024 is about 7 hours and 13 minutes for 24.5 episodes, and in 2016 was 6 hours and 25 minutes for 25.6 episodes, ReZero was on the longer side not only for its time, but also for modern standards. Looking at the three themes for ReZero, Isekai, Psychological, and Time Travel on a graph, we see ReZero was made before Isekai peaked in popularity in 2023, with 46 anime made that year with the Isekai theme. For Psychological, it was made before it peaked in popularity in 2017, with 23 anime made that year with the theme. And lastly, for Time Travel, it was made before it peaked in popularity in 2021, with 15 anime made that year with the theme. Besides its amazing storytelling, ReZero really was at the right place at the right time to propel it up to the second most popular isekai of all time. In 2016, isekai was still relatively novel and not yet oversaturated, despite feeling otherwise at the time. So being early to the isekai trend and having the psychological theme, which isn't found in many anime, it had the perfect setup for success. Now, ReZero was originally a light novel made by Nagatsuki Tappei in 2016, with 4.4% of all anime being light novel adaptations at that time. Compared to the 9.5% of anime originating from light novels in 2024, we see the percentage of anime made from light novels has gone up since 2016, going from 45 animes made from light novels in 2016 to 78 animes made from light novels in 2024. And that's all to say, while a light novel's success is purely contrived from raw storytelling alone, not all animes made from light novels are popular. And that's because this story's success and delivery was contingent on one person making the final call, distilling thousands of words from the light novels, world-building details, and monologues into a single cohesive piece of video media: the director. ReZero was directed by Watanabe Masaharu. Over his 25-year career so far in the anime industry, Watanabe Masaharu has directed 9 anime and has held various roles in 40 other anime, with his most active year in the anime industry being so far in 2014. In Watanabe Masaharu's 16 years in the anime industry leading up to the creation of ReZero, he had worked on 40 anime, holding multiple roles for 13 of them, totaling 60 roles in total, and held the director role for 3 of them. So he was no spring chicken when it came to adapting and working with existing IPs. If we looked at the themes Watanabe Masaharu was exposed to for the anime he worked on before ReZero, the most common are school, martial arts, and historical, and for the genres, they are action, fantasy, and adventure. Before Watanabe Masaharu directed ReZero, he had directed 22 hours and 3 minutes of anime, and after ReZero, he directed an additional 22 hours and 14 minutes worth of anime, totaling 55 hours and 7 minutes of anime directed so far. To date, ReZero is Watanabe Masaharu's most popular anime directed of all time. Before ReZero, the most popular anime he directed was Naruto SD, and the most recent anime he had directed is Zatsutabi, made this past year. So while he isn't a world-renowned, well-known director like Hayao Miyazaki or Hideki Anno, he wasn't any of the less talented. So when it came time to him directing ReZero, he was drawing from lots of industry experience. Now there are 2 main characters and 69 supporting characters in ReZero, so instead of focusing on all 71 characters, we'll be focusing on the 6 most popular characters in the series and look at their voice actors as well. Those characters being Emilia and Subaru for the main cast, then Rem, Beatrice, Ram, and Felix for the supporting cast. Starting off, Emilia was voice acted by Takahashi Hide. This voice actor entered the anime industry in Aikatsu and has voiced over 249 roles, of which 127 are main roles and 122 are supporting roles. When ReZero was made, this was their 23rd role and 4th year in the anime industry. As for ReZero, this was their top 28th role they have voice acted for. Moving on, we have Natsuki Subaru, voice acted by Kobayashi Yusuke. This voice actor entered the anime industry in Meitantei Conan and has voiced in over 239 roles, of which 99 are main roles and 140 are supporting roles. When ReZero was made, this was their 30th role in the anime industry and is their top 13th most popular character they have voice acted for. Moving on to the supporting cast and the most popular character in the series by far, and also is well known for having one of the most longest monologues in anime in history, we have Rem, voice acted by Minase Inori. This voice actor entered the anime industry in Soreike Anpanman and has voiced over 242 roles, of which 114 are main roles and 128 are supporting roles. When ReZero was made, this was their 43rd role and 28th year in the anime industry. As for ReZero, this is their 6th most popular character they have voice acted for. Moving down the supporting cast, we have the token 3,000-year-old goth lolly of the series. We have Beatrice, voice acted by Ari Satomi. This voice actor entered the anime industry in Meitante Conan and has voiced in over 235 roles. When ReZero was made, this was their 134th role and 20th year in the anime industry. As for ReZero, this was their top 13th most popular character they have voice acted for. Moving down the list, we have Rem's twin sister, Ram, voice acted by Murakata Rei. This voice actor entered the anime industry in Fairy Tail and has voiced in over 122 roles, of which 38 are main roles and 84 are supporting roles. When ReZero was made, this was their 38th role and 7th year in the anime industry. And as for ReZero, this is their most popular character they have voice acted for. And lastly, we have Argyle Felix, the token femboy and furry of the series, voice acted by Hori Yui. This voice actor entered the anime industry in Pokemon and has voiced in over 460 roles, of which 160 are main roles and 300 are supporting ones. When ReZero was made, this was the 312th role and 19th year in the anime industry. And as for ReZero, this is the top 22nd most popular character they have voice acted for. So from that data, we see some interesting notes. For some of the most popular characters in the series aren't necessarily the main ones, and for some of the voice actors, this was one of their main breakout roles that propelled them further in the industry. For some, it was the role that they peaked in, being the most popular character they voice acted for. Within the anime community today, ReZero is the 23rd most popular anime of all time and has over 2.3 million members, and has been favorited by over 70,000 MyAnimeList viewers. For anime made in 2016, ReZero is the 4th most popular anime of that year and the 2nd most popular isekai of all time. And if you haven't been convinced by the synopsis I gave, if you were to watch this anime, there is a 96.9% chance that you will finish it based on the number of reported users who have completed versus dropped the show. Looking at the score distribution for ReZero, people generally seem to rate it quite highly. If we compare the average percentage of users who score 1 through 10 across all anime against ReZero, we see ReZero scores above average for ratings 10, 9, and 8, and below average for ratings 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What that means is there is a high likelihood that if you were to watch ReZero, there is above average chance you will score it either an 8, 9, or a 10. And compared against the average percentage of users who score 1 through 10 across the top 100 anime of all time, we see ReZero is above average for ratings 9 and 8, and below average for ratings 10, 7, 6, and average for ratings 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what that means, within the top 100 anime of all time, there's a high likelihood that many users scored a 9 or an 8 as compared to just any low average anime. And what that more or less correlates to, which also is indicative of its score, is that for many people this is one of their most favorite animes of all time, but it's not necessarily their number one. On MyAnimeList, there have been 727 anime reviews written about ReZero, making it the 20th most reviewed anime of all time. But that's not the whole story. If we were to look at the word count of all of the reviews for ReZero, we find it has 416,000 words written in its reviews. And an average review length of 572.5 words per review, it ranks 5th for most words per review across the top 10 anime with the most reviews of all time. And in terms of the number of unique vocabulary terms used compared to the other top 10 anime with the most words, it ranks 3rd with 14,775 unique words used across all of its reviews. Moving on, if we were to look at the recommendation for reviews, that is, did a user who wrote this review recommend the anime, we find 68.6% of all users recommend ReZero, 17.1% do not, and 14.3% have mixed feelings. And lastly, if we were to look at the reviews on a timeline, we find ReZero has had the most reviews written in 2016, with September 8th, 2016 having the most reviews written about the anime, with 56 reviews written at that date. And if we average it out, ReZero on average has 0.23 new reviews written about it each day. So what does the data tell us about ReZero? It wasn't just a good anime, it was also lucky. It was perfectly positioned, being made at a time when isekai was still fresh, psychological themes were rare, and light novel adaptations were still uncommon. And Watanabe, a 16-year seasoned veteran in the anime industry at the time, took Nagatsuki's light novel and in a perfect storm of sorts, made it his career-defining work and one of the best isekai animes of all time. For some voice actors, like the voice actor for Ram, this would be her most popular role ever, pushing her career higher and higher, while for others, it was their launching point, and for some, it was just another stepping stone for them. And with an average of 0.23 reviews per day, 9 years later, people are still actively watching this anime, and based on the reviews with its rich vocabulary diversity and high average review length, many people are left with profound thoughts. While timing played a huge part in its initial success, the fact people are still watching and reviewing this anime 9 years later says a lot about its timelessness. If you thought this analytical deep dive was interesting or have any questions, please drop a comment below, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.